My name is Zach. I'm an alcoholic. Sobriety date is August 20th of 2013. I'm from Southern Maryland. How I ended up in Florida, I actually started using opiates at a very young age. When I was 12, I was full force in smoking weed and drinking alcohol. When I was 13, my mom actually had a tumor in her neck, and with that she was prescribed OxyContin, which she took as needed. And as a 13-year-old kid, I stumbled upon that, and it really led me in the wrong direction. I was taking these pills from my mom, and she had a tumor and she actually needed them. I felt no remorse for it. At the time it felt like I didn't have a conscience. And basically that spiraled into this whole horrific, drug use epidemic, I like to call it, for almost a full decade. I, went through constant struggles growing up as a kid. I'm the youngest of 4 boys. And in high school, I didn't last too long, because by the time I was 14, I was not only using pills daily and other substances, I was also selling them. And so when I was 14, I got kicked out of my house. I actually moved to Florida in Coral Springs. And then I ended up going back home to Maryland and tried going back to school, but with the way that I was living, it didn't necessarily work out. And I dropped out at the age of 16, and then I actually got kicked out of my house again and moved to North Carolina. And I was there for about 2 years. My drug use continued. It was less opiates and more of anything else I could get my hands on as far as alcohol. And then, I came back to Maryland after living in North Carolina for 2 years, and from there, my life really went downhill very quickly. So I was around 18 years old, and I saw all my friends going to college, and having these goals that they had set for themselves, and I hadn't set any goals. When I was younger, I thought I had it all figured out because I was on drugs and had money. The reality was, when I got older, I started to realize I had nothing figured out, and I realized I had to change. But I thought that I was trapped, and I thought there was nothing I could do about it. And it just got progressively worse. And once again, there's still no remorse for my actions, as far as like stealing my parents' credit cards in the morning, and meeting my drug dealer before I went to work, and just continuing to just not only demoralize but hurt every single person that I cared about and that cared about me. And I thought that was just my life. I had accepted that at around 21. And then when I was 22, I made an effort to get sober. It lasted about 7 months, and then I went back to my old ways because I thought I could do some controlled drinking, and that didn't work out. That led me right to heroin. So I, coming back down to Florida, I knew that it was something that I had to do. Me and my buddy back home, when we were using together, it was something I always talked about. It was like kind of this like dream that I had of like, I need to go back to Florida. I will one day. And one day I did. I made the decision. I had enough. It was like 11 p.m. at night, and I got some heroin, and I just looked at my buddy and I told him I couldn't do it anymore. And I remember I sat from 12 p.m. till 5 a.m. when my father would wake up for work, and he woke up and he came downstairs, and I told him, I was like, I think I need to go back to Florida, and thank God that he was able to help me. And he said, we'll buy you a plane ticket. And that day, I know I left at 2 p.m. and was here that night. And I'm grateful to actually have family down in Southern Florida that is sober. So I didn't go to treatment. I didn't go to a detox. I called my cousin and told him I'm coming to stay on his couch for 7 days, and then he's going to kick me out. And I agreed to that, and that's what I wanted, and he did. After 7 days, he had kicked me out, and John Rahm, he runs Healing Properties, and I had been in contact with him through the whole process of coming down, you know, and he told me, he's, you know, after the 7 days, just come and, you know, pee for me. And, you know, I was looking forward to that, the experience with Healing Properties, because I heard really good things about it. And it being an all-men halfway house is a good thing for me. You know, and sure enough, my 7th day at my cousin's, so, you know, I left and showed up to Healing Properties, and, you know, John took me with open arms, you know, and I haven't looked back since. You know, it's a really, really special place in my heart. I don't think that I can describe it in words. With, you know, it's just something that you have to experience. But one of the big things is that it's got to be something that you want to experience and you want to enjoy and be a part of. You know, just if you come to Florida and you're not here for the right reasons and you're not honest with yourself about getting sober, then that's not going to be the place for you. You know, like I remember when I was at Healing Properties for about 2 weeks. You know, I was focused on just working. And I wasn't necessarily doing what I need to do as far as for my sobriety. I wasn't doing much. I was sleeping and going to work. And, you know, because that, at the time, you know, my father had cut me off. When I came down here, he said, good luck at becoming an adult. You know, I'm not giving you anything else the rest of your life. And I'm grateful for that now, but, you know, you know, 2 weeks of not really doing much other than working, you know, John pulled me aside. And, you know, he told me, he's like, listen, man, like, I'm not going to play these games with you. You need to do what you need to do to stay sober. So you're just going to go back out. And, you know, I took that suggestion, and I knew that he was right. I was making excuses. And, you know, not only did he hold me accountable, you know, we talked. It's always like an open door policy there with that office. You know, with anything that I was going through, he was always there to help me. And then he talked and he got me on the right track, and he really helped me out. And one of the greatest things that I enjoyed about Healing Properties was just the camaraderie of it all. You know, all the guys together. And not only that, it's like-minded people. You know, because there's a process to weeding out the people that aren't doing the right thing. You know, if I had continued to not do what I needed to do for my sobriety, I knew that John would take care of that and ask that person to go somewhere else, because I can't have people like that around me. You know, and they did a very good job at that. You know, I remember waking up at 6 a.m., like 5 or 6 guys would wake me up to go to a meeting. And, you know, that's the stuff that I needed. And it's an experience that it's like no other. It's not like it's not like you're institutionalized. You know, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of joy in it. There's a lot of joy when, you know, we as a group collectively go play volleyball with staff included. You know, when staff's always, you know, welcoming you to like come to a meeting with them. Things like that. You know, you don't get that in many places, and you don't get a lot of hands-on experience like you do at Healing Properties. And not only that, the guys are great, and also the staff is as well. But it really, really set the way for me on to how not only to become like a good sober man, but to become like a normal functioning adult. That was like the biggest part, because I used Healing Properties as a tool to better my life. And, you know, with the mentors that I had through sober supports that I built up, and not only the staff and the people around me at Healing Properties, you know, I bettered my life, and I had people holding me accountable. You know, I was shown how to live by myself, and what I mean by that is John literally will show you how to wash dishes. You know, and that's, some people need that kind of stuff. You know, and he showed me a lot of good things that I'm very grateful for. And you know, it was a great tool that I used to develop into a normal functioning human being, you know, and actually be able to hold a job and like show up for work and show up for the people I care about. Because now, like, I realize that I do have a conscience, and I'm not this big bad person that I thought I was. You know, I actually have a heart, and I'm very sensitive. But that's a good thing. And, you know, it's a great feeling to have. You know, and without Healing Properties, you know, if I had just been on the street without the group of guys holding me accountable, I don't think I would have made it this far. I don't think I'd be where I was today. I actually work in the substance abuse field. I have for almost a year now. And it's nice. It's nice to give back in a way that, it was so freely given to me. Because talking to, the staff at Healing Properties, it was never like I was talked down on. It was like I was a friend. And you don't get that a lot of places, A lot of places, they're big and, there's so much stuff going on. And, you have people that they look down on you because you're new in sobriety, and I never got that feeling there. That's something that I'm really grateful for. When any guy ever asks me where they should go, I always recommend Healing Properties, And it's, it's the accountability factor, and also just the like-minded people around, that support group that you have. You don't, when you're there, you don't think about it, but in retrospect, when you look back on it, how much it helps you as a person, it's just amazing. And getting that there, some people take it for granted. I tried not to. I tried to use it to my advantage, and like I said, as a tool. And it was just a phenomenal experience. It feels a lot better to actually be able to give something back and offer something. It feels great to be able to send my mom flowers on Mother's Day. In the past, I didn't even know which day Mother's Day was on the calendar. But it's without the people in the support group that I met steering me in the right direction in places like Healing Properties, I wouldn't be where I was today, without a doubt. I did what I needed to do as far as with Alcoholics Anonymous and getting into that program, and Healing Properties encourages it strongly, but what it's done in my life is wonderful. I wouldn't change anything about like my path on where I am today. And what's funny is if I could go back to Healing Properties and relive those moments, I would. It's just a great experience. I spent Thanksgiving there, Christmas there, and it wasn't home, it wasn't Maryland, but it's felt like home in a sense of, the people and how we would barbecue and all get together. It's one thing when your house manager is there for Christmas with you. He could be anywhere else, but he's with you.